Hey, what's up, YouTube? My name is Nick with EDC Mag, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about a badass knife from CKF Knives called the Krokar. This thing is crazy. If you guys aren't familiar with CKF Knives, they're based in Russia. They're a mid-tech company. I'm just getting over the flu, so if I cough in your ear, I apologize. They partner with different makers, and they have a shop in China where they make a lot of the parts, and then they will take those parts, bring them back to Russia, where they'll do the final makeover and assembly and finishing. So definitely a true mid-tech, and they make some very high quality knives, and then they'll take these and go a step beyond and actually customize them to whereas you're looking at sometimes very high-end custom prices and custom really cool custom knives. This particular knife is called the Krokar by Alexei Konagin or Connigan. I'm not exactly sure on that. It's Krokar, I believe, according to Google, is Slovene for raven. Alexei makes a really cool knife that's somewhat similar to this called the Crow. So I guess you would call this maybe a cousin. If you've never owned or seen CKF, they come with some really nice stuff. Usually they come with a chocolate. This one didn't for some reason. But they come with some really cool features that most knives don't. You get a card. I think there were 200 of these made. That's another thing they do with these. They'll partner up and then they'll make a very limited production run. They also send you, since these are coming out of Russia, it takes a little while for things to get shipped and delivered. So they send you all the extra parts and pieces, bearings, nuts, everything you would need. In this one particularly, they sent an additional, what I'm assuming would be anodized titanium clip, which is super cool as well. Hopefully we have no use for those. On a side note, I just got this. I doubt I'll do a review on them. I'm just getting into flashlights. I'm definitely not an expert, but this is kind of my first high-end flashlight from CKF, and may or may not do a review on that at some point later. But let's talk about the Krokar. This thing is amazing. It is just badass. The Krokar was actually brought to market by Alexei to feature a brand new lock design that he wanted to bring to market, and so he created this knife to bring that lock to market. This knife was designed to be opened two-handed, but like most knife guys, we're kind of rebellious. So, and this thing is brand new. I just picked this up, so it's still a little stiff. Now, it can be opened by one hand. It's easier with two, but then you've got fingerprints all over your blade, and nobody wants that. So, there you go. This is an amazing blade. It's a big knife, but it's not really heavy. It's only about 7.5 ounces. Most people, I know a lot of guys use Spyderco's. I don't have Spyderco's, so I'll use a Kershaw Link just to give you an idea of kind of the size difference. This is a hand rub satin blade, M390. It is 4.84 inches long, so it's a good sized blade, but again, at 7.5 ounces, it's not a massively heavy knife. But this will give you an idea kind of what we're talking about here size wise. This thing is just loaded with cool stuff. You've got the hand rub satin M390 blade. It comes in two flavors as far as the scales go. There was a milled titanium, which was really cool. It actually starts wide in the grooves and gets smaller as it gets back to the back, which was really neat. Where I was looking at these was Rust Blade, and Rust Blade was out of the carbon fiber, and all they had was the titanium, and I have a lot of titanium knives. For some reason I just really like titanium. So when I was on there from Russia with Knives, which is where this came from, they mentioned that Knife Center had started carrying all their stuff, so I went to Knife Center and they actually had the carbon fiber, so I went with that just to try something different. Couple of other neat things with this is the clip on it is zirconium, actually, and then the lock, which is all the way back here in the back, and we'll get into this here in a minute. So this would be known. I mean, it's like basically like a lock back, but what this is, I believe he's calling this is a tail lock. So instead of your mechanism being up here, it's going to be all the way back in the back. If you can see that, let's see if this will work. When you want to release the blade or to lock it, your lock is actually all the way back here, which all this is zirconium as well, that interacts with this mechanism, which I'm assuming, because this knife is so light, this is titanium. But you can see the release. There you go. Very cool. Now, as far as closing this knife, this knife was designed to be open two-handed, and I'm designed to be closed two-handed too. There's just not a really good way to do this one-handed. It's unlike a lot of big blades, it does have a pause, so there's a it's not going to fall shut. So if you've seen any of my pictures, photos on Facebook or IG, you'll see me holding it like this. Any other knife of this size, this would fall right on your hand. This has a pause kind of right there in the middle, right there. So it's kind of got a half stop, if you will, before it closes all the way. So again, you can open it one-handed. You've got your half stop, opens all the way. Very cool knife. Unique design. I've never seen something designed this big this way. Just a super cool knife. I don't know really what you'd use this for, other than just, man, what it does really well is look cool and be cool, and it's just made with superior quality materials. It's just an amazing knife. It's stunning. It's beautiful. Hawk bill. There's jimping all over the place. You know, if you want to cut carpet with it, you can get right up close on that carpet. Yeah, not gonna happen, man. So we got the tail lock. It's just a super cool knife. You know, it's a two-handed opening like a Praetorian. So two-handed closing. Very cool, very sharp. If you guys get a chance to get your hands on one, if you're curious about it, hope this gave you a little bit of information. CKF Krokar. You can get them from Rust Blade, you can get them from Knife Center, a few other places, but go to From Russia with Knives. They're cranking out some really cool stuff, and check it out. Well, I hope to do more reviews here coming up. I appreciate you guys checking this out. I hope this gave you a little bit of information anyway. Everyone stay sharp, keep your head on a swivel.